Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we make sense of the money games big companies play so you don't have to. And today we're diving into BlackRock Monticello Debt Real Estate Investment Trust's latest report. Let's just say they're dishing out some dough and we're here to see how they're doing it before we jump in if you like getting straight. No nonsense insights from these official filings. Make sure you're subscribed. We also have a growing Discord community where we break down these reports even further. Link is in the description. Alright, so what's the big news from BlackRock Monticello Debt Real Estate Investment Trust, aka YE, the company? Well, back on August 29th of 2025, they decided it was time to share some of their earnings. They declared distributions for their common shares, which are essentially the small pieces of ownership in the company that people can buy. They broke down these distributions by different classes of shares. For example, for Class FI common shares, they declared a gross distribution of $0 and $19.27 per share. Now, what does gross distribution mean? It's exactly what the shareholder received as a net distribution. They also had Class E common shares, and for those, the distribution was identical. A gross distribution of $0 per share and, again, zero shareholder servicing fees, resulting in a net distribution of $0.1927 per share, the full amount to the investors without taking a cut for management or servicing. These payouts were for shareholders who owned the shares at the end of the day on August 29th, 2025. The money was actually sent out on or around September 19th, 2025. Now, for investors who are part of the company's distribution reinvestment plan, which is a fancy way of saying they automatically use their payouts to buy more shares. This money was either given to them in cash or used to buy more shares in their account. It's a way for the company to encourage investors to keep their money tied up with them, essentially compounding their investment automatically. Looking at the issue itself, BlackRock Monticello Debt Real Estate Investment Trust. It's a Maryland statutory trust. This tells us where it's legally registered and how it's set up. The file number is 000056720, and its IRS employee identification number, which is like a social security number for businesses, is 3365955754. They are incorporated in Maryland, which is a common state for companies to register in for. Interestingly, the filing indicates that BlackRock Monticello Debt Real Estate Investment Trust is an emerging growth company. This classification is important because it allows them to take advantage of certain regulatory benefits and flexibilities in how they report their financial information, especially regarding new accounting standards. They have elected to use these benefits, which means they might not be following the very latest, most stringent accounting rules. As quickly as larger, more established companies, this can sometimes make comparisons a bit tricky, but it's a common strategy for growing companies to ease their reporting burden. And who's signing off on all this? Barry W. Sarvis Jr., the Chief Financial Officer. His signature here, along with the date August 29, 2000, signifies that the company is officially confirming the information presented in this report. It's his stamp of approval, saying everything is accurate and in order according to their knowledge. Now let's get to those juicy details buried in these filings, the numbers that tell the real story. While this specific filing is quite focused on a distribution announcement, it gives us a snapshot of how the company is handling its cash and rewarding its shareholders. We see a clear distribution of $0.1927 share for two for these share classes. It's not a massive number, but shows they're actively distributing income generated from their real estate debt investments, which is exactly what a real estate investment trust or REIT is supposed to do. From a Warren Buffett style perspective, we'd want to dig deeper into why they are distributing this amount. Is it sustainable? Is it generating enough cash flow from their underlying real estate debt investments to cover these payouts comfortably? Without seeing their broader financial statements alongside this report, it's hard to say for sure. However, the fact that they are making these distributions suggests that their underlying assets are generating income. The key takeaway here is that BlackRock Monticello Debt Real Estate Investment Trust is functioning as intended for these share classes, providing regular income to its investors. The lack of shareholder servicing fees on these distributions is also a positive sign for investors, as it means more of the invested capital is working for them. However, and this is a big however, this report is just a piece of the puzzle. It tells us what distributable income they decided to hand out on a specific date. It doesn't tell us their overall financial health, their debt levels, their investment performance, or the market conditions affecting their real estate debt portfolio. For a full picture, we'd need to look at their quarterly or annual reports, which would include balance sheets, income statements, and cash flow statements. Those reports would show us their total assets, liabilities, revenues, and expenses, giving us a much clearer view of their strengths and weaknesses. For instance, we want to see if their interest income from their debt investments is growing, if their operating expenses are under control, and if they have significant leverage, meaning how much debt they are using. High debt can amplify returns in good times, but it also exponentially increases risk. The fact that they are listed as an emerging growth company is something to keep an eye on. While it offers them flexibility, it also means their disclosures might not be as extensive as those from fully accelerated filers for investors. This means doing a bit more homework to ensure you understand the company's full financial picture. In conclusion, this filing is a clear announcement of distributions for specific share classes of BlackRock Monticello Debt Real Estate Investment Trust, showing a commitment to returning capital to shareholders. The $0.1927 per share distribution with no fees for Class FI and Class E shares is a straightforward payment. However, without more comprehensive financial data, it's impossible to give a definitive assessment of the company's overall health or future prospects. We see they are paying out, but we don't see the full earning power or the full risk profile. What's your take on these distributions? Are you invested in BlackRock Monticello Debt Real Estate Investment Trust or similar REITs? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into corporate finance. And remember, join our Discord community linked in the description for even more analysis and discussion. Thanks for watching. See you next time.